Hello, everyone that is actually watching this webinar. This is the first global webinar of our initiative Stay Infraspeak, in which every Thursday we host a talk for maintenance and facility management with topics related to operations, to management, to technology, and with relevant industry professionals sharing their experiences. So if you want to keep updated on our agenda, please follow the link that will be on the comment section actually. So let's start today. My name is Eliana. I'm part of the marketing team at Infraspeak, and I will be guiding this conversation, which is a bit different from what you're probably used to. So we will share some of our experience as a growing global company and the challenges that usually come with it. Please feel free to share your insights and questions in the comments, and we will try to answer them either during this conversation or after. So with me, I have the Infraspeak CEO, Felipe. Hello.
Hello, everyone.
And I have our 4 country managers as well. So Abel Costa from Brazil. Hello, Abel.
Hello, people.
Larry O'Brien from the Infraspeak UK.
Hi, everyone.
And Alejandro Albert from Infraspeak Spain. So welcome.
Hello.
All, guys. Yeah.
Hi.
And Anna.
Yeah, you forget me.
I forgot you. Sorry, Anna. I saw you this morning, so I totally forgot you because for me, we are still in the same webinar. Sorry. So Ana Ventura, our lady here from Portugal, and the Palop. Sorry, Anna, again.
Hello, everyone.
We can start. And my first question is for Philippe, actually. So we can start with some context also. So since we're not exactly in time for big celebrations, you probably don't know, but Infraspeak just turned 5 earlier this month. So we're 5 years old, guys. And in such a short time, we have already grown to 4 different markets, actually 11 different markets, and we more than doubled our team only last year. So Flip, can you tell us a bit more about how all of this happened and why did we decided to invest specifically in these markets?
Sure, happy to do it. So like 5 years ago, we were starting Infraspeak, and we had already this vision of being a global company, right? So we want to be the global reference software for the facility management and the maintenance areas. And we basically start exploring, understanding how the market was working in Portugal, where we have our headquarters. But really fast, we start to have contacts from other markets, looking for solutions like us, and we start to explore. Then after like in the second year, where we had already in 5 different countries, but when we clearly had a product that the customers were happy, we thought there was a time to start investing and growing faster to more markets. Then we partner with some venture capitalists, so we have more than almost 5 million euros invested in the company, what allow us to start building up teams and building up structure to become this global company. And we decide to invest specifically with more emphasis in Brazil first, and later on in the UK and in Spain. But actually, we're also investing a lot in indirect channels. So we have partners in Senegal, we have partners in South Africa, in the Emirates, and so on. And we are seeing all these markets growing quite interesting. So.
Perfect, thank you, Flip. Actually, I will start with Larry as well, because Larry has a funny story. He decided to join Infraspeak after meeting the company in an event, and he did shortly after that. So Larry, what made you believe that Infraspeak could add value to the UK markets, and what do you think is our biggest advantage?
Okay. Originally, what interested me was both the approach and the attitude with the people I met. And then when I looked at the underlying technology and what had been done there and how they'd kind of, Infraspeak's not shackled by the technology debt that you get of a lot of FM software providers. So they take a very new, very fresh approach at what they were doing. For a young company, as we said, only celebrating 5 years, they've got a very sophisticated and mature solution. it's got a lot of functionality that you wouldn't see in solutions that are, shall we say, more widely known in the market and been around for a long time. And big parts of that is that this technology debt, we've looked at what we could do, we've went about building it in the best way possible rather than by being limited by the original solution design, which we take it from that side. We look at where we're going. We've looked at the technology and the advantages you've got. So for example, lots of people have built their solution around QR codes and barcodes. We can deal with those, but we went for NFC technology, which allows a lot more functionality. We've embraced the cloud. We've got an open API. Internet of Things are all really positive. So the added value that Infraspeak brings is all of those things, but also the singular focus it's got on maintenance. We're not trying to be a jack of all trades and master of none. We're focusing on one thing and being really, really good at it. Maintenance, whether that's for an FM service provider or whether it's for an internal FM team. That focus allows us to have honest dialogue, build the product, move the product forward, and engage with our customers. So, you know, really, it's just everything that Infraspeak is about. That's what comes across.
Totally agreed. And probably Anna can clarify a little bit of what we're trying to bring to the market, because Portugal is a very mature market as well, where Infraspeak has already a strong presence. So if you could choose three things, Anna, what would you say that allow us to reach that position?
First of all, Infraspeak is a Portuguese company, so it's normal that the first clients were from this market. With the first clients came the second ones, and we naturally grow organically in the first years. The second reason is the need that the market had and have. Most of our clients pass through paper or Excel to our platform. And the third reason is the amazing work our team made and make every day in terms of product, people, marketing, sales, and so on, that make possible the company that we have today and the product that we have today.
Great to know, because even though we speak the same language and that Brazil was also one of the first countries in culture, does anyone has any background sound? I'm trying to understand, no? Because I hear some noise.
It's okay for me.
Wait.
There's a lot of feedback coming from some.
I'm trying to understand now who has it so I can mute you. Okay.
Okay.
Sorry, guys.
Yeah.
Just not to create interruption here.
Okay.
Okay, so back to Abel. Sorry, Abel. I was saying that Brazil was also one of the first markets we entered. And even though we speak the same language, the reality between Brazil and Portugal is quite different. So I wanted to ask you, Abel, what is your biggest challenge right now?
So here in Brazil, the market is in the process of maturing. The biggest challenge is to make managers understand the value we will get from reliable asset data. The essential thing is in the post-pandemic market, being sure what is the priority in FM means the best experience for the users and cost savings. And we can have that online. It's a difference.
Yeah, definitely. I think one of the biggest worries right now is actually in reducing costs. Everyone is a bit worried about the crisis that comes after this pandemic situation. So, Alejandro, do you agree with this? Do you think that even in the Spanish market that we entered pretty recently, this is one of the current concerns?
What do you mean? Sorry.
The reduction of costs is one of the things that is worrying the companies right now. I know that probably the market has other needs that we can also explore, but do you think that people are actually worried about that right now? Do you feel that among our contacts in Spain and with our clients? Is that a concern?
definitely, especially as you know, Spain is one of the most affected country by this crisis, and yeah, really, I can see it on our clients. I can see it on the market, generally speaking, with other people from other companies, and definitely this is something that everybody is considering now.
Okay, and if we consider the scenario, well, before this pandemic situation, what will you say that were the current needs of the market, and how could we answer that?
Okay, so before the
let's hope that we go back to that scenario after.
yeah.
You know, let's hope.
So yeah, before the COVID situation. So actually in Spain, we are currently one year. So we entered 1 year ago. So now we can have like a clear vision of what happened before and after. So before that, the needs that I saw on the market. Well, if we spoke first of all about the market, we need to also speak about the different segments that we approach on the market, which for us is companies who provide facility management, industrial companies, technical assistant companies, and also the hospitality, which clearly has been really affected by the COVID. But before that, what I saw is that all those different segments reach it to a point where if you really want to be different to the competitors, there is no other way to update and just adopt the new technologies that like ours that are out there. And the global market needed an update and it still needs an update. There's a long way to go, and we really give an answer for this need. So we answer the need of then having a tool to control everything, but that's to control everything on the operative side and have everything on the same environment. But you also can control everything with the use of our NFC technology. And definitely it's one of the needs is the clients are more and more demanding. They ask for better services, more data, more control. They want to know exactly what's happening on the operation, having all the answers at the palm of their hands, and also having all the details about times, codes, etc. And yeah, that's the main needs that I was seeing on the market before all this. And I assume, of course, that now with the COVID, this is a little bit adjusted, but this is not going to change. It's going to keep.
Exactly. The thing is that everyone needs to still control everything what's happening, and with the data in the same tool, we can actually have a better idea of what's going on, and it helps, for example, with keeping costs under control, right? So,
Liana, if you allow me to add, so you can make it more like a debate.
Of course.
I think one of the things that somehow unite all the questions that we were discussing until now is by having a tool like Infraspeak, or basically a digitalization of processes, right? Allow our customers to adapt way better to this new context where we need like social isolation, and like most of our customers, they don't go to work, right? They must keep doing the maintenance, the cleaning, the audits. So all the hospitals, all the critical assets is still running even in this situation. But when you add like paper or other complex software that you have somehow to fill up and interact with people. So we had some customers that before using Infraspeak, they have to go in the middle of the day, going back to the office to give away some papers and take a new ones to fill up in the afternoon. By have everything digital, allowed our companies to move to fully remote. Like technicians didn't need to go to the office unless they would need to go to for the warehouse to pick up some materials. But most of the time they can go straight away from home to the work they need to do and deliver all the information for customers, deliver all the information for managers. So you have everybody in the same page, even without seeing each other on a face-to-face perspective. And that was like milestone for some of the customers I was talking recently about the impact of Infraspeak on their business.
Mm-hmm. Yes, guys, please feel free to comment. Okay, this is definitely a debate for us to add value to everyone that's watching. So please feel free to make any comments you want, and also the people that are watching right now, please feel free to make questions because we will try to um, answer them as soon as we can. So
Liliana, just
yes.
following on that, if anybody's interested, there's the webinar we did recently with Mike from Sundela, who actually talked about how they've taken their manufacturing operation down to minimum staff, and actually he's running the business as a single operative, and how easily he changed his maintenance plans, etc., on one of the webinars that is on the website.
Okay. Exactly, on Stay Infraspeak, you can rewatch it, and it was very. Actually, we are talking about it a little bit later on this conversation because it's one of the topics that I want to bring on the table. It was a very interesting webinar indeed. We also have a lot of topics regarding hotels and how they are managing their maintenance teams right now. We had one this morning with Anna, for example, and one of the guys was actually one of our speakers was actually the chief engineer of one of the hotels, and he runs the management team, and he also talked about it. So if you want to recheck it, it will be a very good idea because it adds a lot of value to this topic as well. So Philippe, we have been talking about all these different markets with different realities, needs, and timings, and we know that it's not only with this reality going on, it has always been like that. How can a company answer or meet all these needs while, you know, being faithful to a strong culture and to its own values?
I guess the answer is in the question, actually. I think it's really about the values and the culture, right? So we definitely see differences between the markets, though the different needs and the different maturity, like especially digital maturity from different markets. But everybody need to do the operations. Everybody need to do the maintenance, the housekeeping, the cleaning, the energy management, and so on. So on a technology point of view is quite similar. But when you put on top of this all this content and all the customer success support we put on top, then we need to adapt to the culture of each location and to the context of each location. But what we try to make sure as we move to more markets is that the way we work, the thing that Larry was saying before, our culture, our new approach, our fresh look of being to get the back of our customers, to being source of good life to everybody that interact with us, is seen in everything we do, and that's independent of the market, right? So by having a clear mindset of where the priorities are, and the priorities being the customers, and for us to be having a positive impact on the day-to-day operation and being really close to the customers, whatever they need, has somehow created this customer-centric culture. And we are getting feedback. Like we have this concept internally, you guys know, this loving customer, right? The customer that is not just happy with the product, but is actually active promoter, is someone that is willing to be beta tester of new features and to case study with us and so on. And it's amazing to see that we have a customer with this profiling in all the markets. And we can now cross information between markets. It's really interesting. But simply put, is culture. Is about having clear values, and the right culture is spread through the different teams.
You know, we were talking about this before, and one of the things that I personally enjoy the most in the company is the fact that we have indeed this close relationship with our clients. And I not only talk about the sales team or the country managers, me as a marketeer, for example, I'm constantly in the office. I often don't go to the clients, but I still feel close to them, and I still feel that we interact a lot with them. And one of these examples is, for example, the webinar that Larry was mentioning, where we invite our clients from Sandila. So actually, Larry, how do you think that's possible to feed that relationship even when you work remotely? Because I know that you are used to work remotely even with us. So how can we manage that with clients as well?
Well, it's following on from the point that Philippe made a moment ago. It's all about the culture. It's about the type of relationship that you actually want with your customer and how you are going to work with that customer. And customer supplier are traditional terms, but it's actually about partnering. You know, our strapline is we've got you back. We mean it. We're there. So it's not. I was chatting with someone this morning in a prospect in a session this morning, and they were turning around saying, "Well, we don't want to enter in a long-term commitment. We're not going to sign up for 3 or 5 years." And I'm kind of going, "Well, we don't sign you up for 3 or 5 years." And they said, "Well, what do you do?" I said, "We sign you up for a month, and we do a rolling monthly contract." And to use Philippe's term, we have a metric of a loving customer. You know, we've got to actually really work at that relationship and keep that relationship to keep the customer. So we're invested. We're there for the duration, not just. It's not about getting you live as it is with many systems where they have an implementation consultant who comes on, gets you live, then goes away, and then if you want to talk to them again, it's X number of £100 a day. It's actually, if you look at our customer success team, the customer success guys start with you, take you through the whole implementation process, and are there ongoing. So you want to reach out to them. You don't have to think about how much it's going to cost you. You reach out, you have that conversation, you engage with them. They build a much more professional and personal relationship. And that really helps with the staying in touch and the communication. You talk about in this environment currently that we're in, the remote working. Well, one of our customer success team actually just took a customer live in 12 days elapsed, and the entire thing was done remotely. So they were never physically on site. But again, that comes down to the solution being light touch, the training sessions being easy, the customer and us engaging in a partnership, and them knowing that if they've got something or a query, they can reach out, we'll deal with it for them. That's what it's all about.
True indeed. We lost Abel. I hope that he will be back soon. I will try to understand what happened to him, but I will move on to the next question to Anna. Actually, we are missing our girl talking again. So, Anna, as Larry pointed out, our motto, I would say, is actually to have our clients back at any time. So how are we being able to help our clients considering these troubled times that we're facing? How exactly, if you can give me like 2 or 3 examples that you think it's working for them.
Okay. Well, we are helping our customers or clients, first of all, by keeping in touch. And this is one of the ways with webinars. But like in any other crisis, clients are looking for guidance. So by keeping in touch with a call or with an email, we can anticipate actions and problems and work in solutions sooner and with more results with the clients. But this is like Larry and Philippe were saying, it's a cultural thing. We do this normally and we continue to do this in this time. Second, and with a real example, we are helping clients to change the daily work, incorporating guidelines or tasks or auditing tasks, taking into account the reality of the pandemic. For example, we create a preventive maintenance plan for hotels adapted for the fact that the building is closed. And so on. I can keep giving you examples of things we are doing
We
with the
did
clients.
the safety thing, right? Like the safety tasks or the safety routines to keep sure the employees, the maintenance and the cleaning team are safe on this.
And the
on this
quality of
context.
the air and all of the things.
Yes,
Yeah.
from what I've known, we have developed a lot of content to try to help them in creating new processes because they were not ready for it, right? I see you
Yeah.
nodding, Alejandro. So if you can, if you want to add something, feel free.
What I think is relevant, by the way, just to complement Alejandro, is that we do this internally in the product. So the customer says, team, do this, and our customer can import the data right away to the product and use right away. But we actually spreading this not just to our customers. So we are putting available
It's true.
online for other people that even don't have a software and want to use this checklist on an Excel, they can do anyway, because like by one side, we believe it's important in this context for everybody to have access to this kind of information. And the other, we think that if people see value and use this, they will start building a relationship with us, and it's just natural for people to get in touch. And if it makes sense in the future for them to be our customers, there is already this first interaction on this level. So,
Is this working for our clients in Spain as well, Alejandro?
Yeah, definitely. Well, in Spain we have more than half of our customer are from the hospitality sector, and it has been like really touched in the center by this pandemic. So it's pretty critical. I've been attending and participating to many webinars in the past weeks of, for example, from the Spanish Association of Hoteliers, and yeah, they are really worried. So what we are doing is offering help with these COVID-19 protocols that we are calling it, and both to our clients and not clients, and definitely it's really being really well accepted, because they are sure that not just for now, because most of them close temporarily, but especially for after this crisis, for them to be able to recover.
Perfect. So we're hitting the 30 minutes time limit, but we can still answer some questions. So if they pop out, I will let you know. And I have a final question for Philippe. So I know that these times are challenging. We have been discussing that. But looking at the future, Philippe, as a manager, what piece of advice would you share with the people that are watching us?
oh, there is so much to say, right? So the life.
You still have time. You still have time. Go ahead.
The world definitely changed. Okay, so we are adapting to this new context, and I think this new context is the new future is going to be definitely different of the past. And on a company perspective, on a business perspective, we as managers have to adapt our companies to that. So I think, of course, we are seeing all the impact of the economical impact of the crisis, but we also have to be somehow positive about what can we do. So we should question our product. We should question our processes to understand if this concept of product market fit, of the service fit, is still the same, right? So if the world changed, we must understand what are the new needs from our customers and to adapt the way we interact them. So we have been doing internally, have been talking a lot with our customers, and we're also talking with our customers, they talking with their customers about how to adapt. And there is many different segments that we work with: airports, with hotels, with cruise companies that are being very affected, but also retail, shopping mall, and technical assistance area have been somehow affected considerably as well. So I think keeping the mind open and flexible to adapt to the new context is what will make the difference for the companies to thrive, right, in this situation. there's much more to say, but I guess we can simplify on this one piece of advice.
I would like to hear from you as well, Anna, Alejandro, Larry, because you have been doing our webinars. So you have been in touch with our clients as well. You have an idea of how even other industry professionals that have been attending to our webinars, for example, see this kind of issue. So what do you think the future will look like? So what kind of advice would you like to share? And I don't know, wants to start? Let me know.
Well, we have a lot of challenge in motivating the team and being prepared for the reclaim. And not only us, but doing that for our clients. And we have to think positive, because this is going to pass, and we are going all to be here at the end. So think positively, and well, I hope in the few months we will be here talking about the past and the COVID as a thing that ends.
Yep.
And being
Hopefully.
together at the same place,
Exactly.
doing a beer celebration, right?
Exactly. We're hoping for that one. So Larry, do you want to go next?
Yeah, I think one of the points I've made before is that we're fortunate that we work in FM, because the guys in FM, the guys and girls in FM are really pretty pragmatic about life. You know, they get on and do it. They have buildings burn down, they have lights go out, they deal with all those things, so they get on and do it. And as Anna says, we will come through this. It's a challenge, it's a problem, but there will be an end date, hopefully sooner rather than later. The engagement at the moment is really reach out, talk to people, be there, keep those relationships. And, you know, if our customers and prospects know that we have got their back, then, you know, we and they will be fine coming out of this. I've no doubt about that at all.
Glad to hear such positive messages. Alejandro, don't disappoint me now.
No pressure.
No. No, what I think is that for what I've seen in the past weeks is that there's clearly two stages. One is what we are living now. We are totally in the darkest time of this crisis, and now it's all about helping each other. Now there are not competitors. For example, on the hotels, now they are helping big chains. They are helping small hotels, because we are, let's say, all one now. And so now it's about helping, and let's try like survive. And once the storm passed, let's be good again. And then after all this crisis, there is the second step, which is trying to be always offering the best you can, in order that, because I'm sure that people is going to value a lot the companies who are going before the client demands something, that you have already thought about it, or you offer that service or whatever. And definitely that's something that the markets and all the companies we will need to do.
Perfect.
Sure. Definitely, we're seeing people thinking preventively, right? So we work with preventive maintenance and corrective maintenance and everything else. But this whole context, I guess, will push everybody to think about preventive measures and how to be better prepared for stuff like this.
Indeed. Let's hope that also it creates, for example, I was talking to one of our customers actually yesterday, and he was telling me that these will create a lot of awareness for other issues as well. Because, for example, with the Legionella, for example, like it's something that we already know. It's something that we know that we need to prevent for it, but people are getting lazy, you know, because it's not a real problem anymore because we take all these measures. So they are facilitating on these measures. So maybe with all these crises again, they will think about that they need to be strict with it. So it's kind of it's interesting to see that this can make us all super alert again. and for everything. You know, basic hygienic processes and habits that probably are important and we are disregarding because we are so used to live in this world, you know. So I was trying to wait for Abel, but I don't think he will be able to join us. So
Probably internet connections issues. So.
yeah, no, the internet connections have been super tricky, and with webinars, it doesn't help much. But well, I think I will put an end to it. I will wrap it up now, at least live, because we will be available to keep answering all questions through our LinkedIn pages. So feel free to reach us there. And thank you all for taking the time to participate, guys. Thank you all that watched the webinar, and thank you for being with me. We will be back next Thursday, so stay tuned on Stay Infraspeak. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye,
Thank you so
everyone.
much. Bye bye.